Everybody, I hope you're doing well today. It's been a little while since I've had a chance to talk to you guys, but I've been really busy and doing a lot of studying and research and actually putting together some programs and things to help everyone out. So today what I want to talk to you guys about is something that's very, very important. We're actually going to be talking about brain health, Hashimoto's, which is an autoimmune thyroid condition, and autoimmunity connection. So we're going to talk about this connection, and one of the things the primary thing we're going to focus on, guys, is this. We're going to focus on brain health. This is huge. I can't tell you, this is the projections for neurodegenerative conditions, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, dementia, is unbelievable. Unbelievable. The World Health Organization has looked at this to try and understand how we're going to address this epidemic. Okay, guys, there are a lot of mechanisms and things that we're going to talk about that can accelerate neuro or brain degeneration. Okay, and what I'm going to talk to you guys about is a barrier system that you have in your brain that's very similar to the barrier of your gut wall. A lot of people are familiar with leaky gut, but are you familiar with leaky brain? Okay, I want to talk about testing. We're going to really look at this. So let's go ahead and get started, okay? One of the things that you need to know, if you're not familiar with it, is that the brain actually has a barrier system. It has this thing called the blood-brain barrier that keeps things in the bloodstream and away from the brain and the nerve cells and neurons and the immune system of the brain. It keeps them away so that the brain can be healthy and function normally. Now, this barrier system does let some things through into the brain, hormones and smaller molecules, but antibodies and things that can trigger an immune response, infections, bacteria, it's meant to keep those away from the brain. Okay? Now, the thing is that it protects the brain from infections. So the blood-brain barrier, or BBB, which we're going to abbreviate it, helps to protect the brain from infections. It protects the brain from inflammatory chemistry like lipopolysaccharides. Now, if you go back and you look at my video on leaky gut that I do, you're going to see that I draw out a barrier system that looks a lot like this, almost identical. And this is actually representative of the blood-brain barrier here. But the lipopolysaccharides are byproducts of bacteria in the gut, and we know they can get in the bloodstream and they can circulate through. Now, these things are really inflammatory, and this barrier system helps to protect the brain from stimulating an immune response and creating a lot of other problems. It also helps to protect the brain from toxic chemicals. So this is a very critical barrier system. You know, you have multiple barrier systems in the body, but this is a very, very important barrier system that keeps the brain, protects the brain, and keeps it healthy. Okay? So the interesting thing is that just like the gut lining, the small intestinal lining, the blood-brain barrier is only one cell thick. One cell, one teeny cell thick that separates the blood on this side of the barrier from the brain on this side. Just like with leaky gut, you have the intestinal wall, or the intestines and digesting food, bacteria, and on the other side you have the bloodstream, and it's one cell wall thick. Okay, so the brain it's very, very similar, guys. You have cells that are connected by these connective proteins that hold them together. And what we can do is we can actually test to see if you're having immune responses to these proteins that hold the blood-brain barrier together, to give us an idea of whether or not you have broken down the junctions, these gates that hold the cells together, and that basically is an indication of leaky brain. And leaky brain is where these barriers, this wall breaks down, and things can leak through into the brain on this side. Okay, now just let me tell you, whenever you have anything that comes through this barrier system into the brain, the mass of the brain, you think it's all nerve cells, but it's really not. A huge amount of your brain tissue is neurological, is the immune cells. Okay, microglia, different types of immune-based cells that help to protect the brain from anything that comes in, because obviously your brain is the most important organ in the body, and if the brain does not function, then the body cannot function. So the body has adapted and has these protective mechanisms to really protect the brain. So anything that comes through with this barrier system, if it's compromised, comes into the neurological tissue of the brain here on this side, and what it does is it triggers immune activation. Okay, now immune activation, you have a lot of chemistry that occurs that will stimulate something called free radicals. Okay, free radicals, when they're produced, you've got these chemicals that are produced by the immune cells, and these free radicals that are created, they actually stimulate. Now, bear with me here. Immune. We're going to break the word down. Immune excitotoxicity. Okay, immune excitotoxicity. So immune meaning the nerve cells, excito meaning excited, toxicity. So this chemistry stimulates excitation or excited nerve cells that's toxic, that can actually create neurodegenerative problems, brain-based problems, degeneration of neurons and nerve cells, breakdown, destruction of nerve cells. Guys, you may not know this, but there are tissues in the body that do not multiply and divide. See, in biology, you learn about this process called cell mitosis, where the cells of the body will replicate, they will duplicate, they divide, right? And they continue to replicate, divide, and they renew themselves. Your nerve cells don't do that. Your nerve cells you do not create new nerve cells. You're born with the nerve cells you have, and once those nerve cells are gone, they're gone. They do not regenerate. Okay? So this is extremely important, especially when we're talking about neuroimmune disorders. Okay, so this would set up a chemistry, and this process sets you up for neurological. Okay, break down the word immune, neurological, and immune disorders. The immune system stimulates this process that destroys and breaks down nerve cells, causing loss of nerve cells in the brain. That would set up the perfect process for you to develop degenerative conditions of the brain. Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, dementia. Okay, we know it's implicated in other processes as well, but this is absolutely a critical thing to understand. And how many people with Hashimoto's or thyroid dysfunction have brain fog? Okay, is your brain fog due to low thyroid hormone activity, or is your brain fog possibly due to a compromised blood-brain barrier and a much more significant, well, they're both significant, but also another process? Guys, the reality is that no one has one problem. We have layers of issues that are occurring. And all I can tell you is we now have the ability to look at antibodies and give us a very good idea if this blood-brain barrier is broken down. I am recommending that much more than I ever have in the past, and it's relatively new, a new test that's available to us. So now I love to get this test, especially when there's any brain fog, to allow me to know if the blood-brain barrier is compromised. Because for one thing, I'll know if the blood-brain barrier is compromised with that test. For a second thing, it gives me a baseline so that we can retest in 6 months or a year and see if we're getting improvement of this blood-brain barrier. Because if we don't, we know that it sets up the stage for neurodegenerative disorders, like Alzheimer's, any type of autoimmune condition as well, multiple sclerosis, possibly ALS. Guys, these are serious consequences. So one of the things that I really want to share with you guys is that this is a real problem that you may not have been aware of. These are things that we know can contribute to neurodegenerative conditions. So especially guys, if you have in your family a history of Alzheimer's, dementia, Parkinson's, any type of neurological autoimmune condition, multiple sclerosis, ALS, any of these types of problems, you definitely want to consider this, especially if you're having brain fog, or if you just want to know about being preventative. Maybe you have this occurring and you don't have significant symptoms of that. But if you have a family history, especially if you have a family history, then I would look at this mechanism to see what's occurring. Because if this is occurring, you need to take action to do things to remedy this process and repair this barrier system so that you don't continue to have neurological, the potential to develop some of these neurological conditions, these degenerative conditions. And like I said, this is an epidemic at an epidemic level. the World Health Organization met and discussed this to try to figure out what are we going to do with all of the people that have these neurodegenerative conditions. So autoimmunity, we know if someone has autoimmunity, this is more likely to occur. So this is something that needs to be taken seriously. So I wanted to share this with you guys because not many people know this. Not many people know that there's actually testing that we can do that's advanced immunological or immune-based testing to help us understand if this process is occurring. Guys, you know that one of the things that I try to do with my mission is to try to help you, help yourself, to educate you. But a lot of these things you're not going to be able to do on your own. A lot of these testing like this, your doctors are not going to be able to order because they are outside of the insurance-based model. But quite frankly, guys, you get what you pay for sometimes. You have to, if you're interested in your health, you have to invest in yourself. It blows me away when I see people that will spend thousands of dollars on, quite frankly, things that are very superficial and not their health. And I just when you think about the cost of some things, when I do workups with people, if we do very extensive advanced testing, you can spend several $1,000s. And so people will look at that like that's a lot of money. Yet compared to what? Whenever you go to the ER, spend a night in intensive care with specialists and rotations, $10,000, easy. Compared to a trip to the hospital in the ambulance, how much money is that? A few $1,000s. Compared to a visit to the ER, easily $1,000 and very, very basic, right? Compared to what is really, you are worth figuring out what's going on with your health. So cost, the world we live in today is healthcare is not going to be covered unless it's crisis care. This is not considered crisis care. I think it's a crisis. I think it's a huge crisis. But it's whenever these are end-stage problems, that's when the insurance companies are going to pay for it. And it's not that the insurance companies are bad. It's not that the doctors are bad. It's just where we are in today's healthcare. Changes have to be made, and that is a long process that's going to occur. So if you want to take care of yourself and you want to invest in yourself, figure things out. Figure things out and be your own advocate. Take your own health back and make a difference for you. No one's going to do it but you. Okay? So I just have to share that because I've seen so much. If you can identify these problems and you can improve this is cheap. You think about if you've lived with anyone or you've seen the consequences of neurodegenerative conditions. What would it be worth to have the opportunity to potentially improve that, delay that? If these types of things lead to that kind of problem, you are worth it. Your health is worth it. I wanted to share this with you guys because this is a huge problem. There's exploding science and research on this. But the fact is that this is something that we've got to assess. We've got to assess with brain fog, with poor mental clarity, and we have testing now that we can do that. Guys, if you need help, I'll help you in any way I can. Ask me questions. I'll do my best to help you and do anything that I can for you. If you need help, though, and you want someone to help you try to figure out your health and try to give you a plan, try to help you strategize to determine if you need testing, what's actually happening with you, then I work with people all around the world. And you can actually, one of the best ways, you can go to our website at drbradshuk.com and go to application for care page. And you can read about what it's like to work with me as a distance consulting client, which I work with people all around the world and what we do. And then if you want to maybe talk to me for 15 minutes to talk to me on the phone about your particular case and see if maybe working with me is appropriate or not. Do I think I can help? Then you can go to hashimotosconsult.com and you can actually sign up there for a 15-minute consultation with me where we'll just talk. We'll get on the phone and you just tell me what's going on and I'll give you my thoughts and ideas on what I might consider doing. And if there's anything that I can do to help you on that phone call, I'll give you everything that I have. Okay, every bit of information that I can give you. I don't hold anything back. I will tell you and give you everything that I can give you so that you can be healthy. And I wanted to share this because it's such a crisis. The blood-brain barrier is a very important barrier system that keeps your immune system and the brain healthy. And with the crisis that we see coming with neurodegeneration, I had to share this with you guys. So I really appreciate you guys so much. And remember, guys, help us help other people. If you like this video, share it. Share it with your family. Share it with your friends. Help them. Help us help other people. Help us spread the word about these things that other people really have no concept of. A lot of your doctors haven't been educated on this stuff, and that's okay. I haven't been educated on a lot of things that they do, but I practice, and my focus is on a functional breakdown of the body, not just pathological, advanced pathological stages of health. So we all have to work as a team. So we have to teach each other. And so I'm constantly learning from you guys, I'm learning from other physicians, and I'm trying to teach what I know. So help us help other people. Guys, if you liked this video, share it, because what I do is I look at the shares, and if there's a lot of shares, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk more about brain integrity, brain health, and how we might be able to address and help this. So maybe I can talk more about supplementation or things that we see. But I want to caution you guys. You know, I don't talk a lot about supplementation or nutritional supplements or diets. And you know why? Because that may not be the problem that's causing your breakdown in the blood-brain barrier. So why would we guess? I see so many people spend hundreds of dollars per month on supplements, guys. Hundreds of dollars. Hundreds. And you could just take some of that money and you could get some testing done and you could help to really figure out and try to investigate the root drivers of your problems. And in the long run, you'd save yourself a ton of money. Because you see, I'm an advocate of not taking supplements long term. I'm an advocate of getting off of all the supplementation, using it temporarily if needed to support your body, but getting off of all of it and getting your nutrition from food. Helping the body heal, get out of its way, let it do its thing. Eat good food. You know, don't spend your money. Your body, supplements, they didn't come with the earth, packaged into little pills. There were plants and things like that, of course. But they didn't come that way. And I believe that if it doesn't come from the earth and it's not in its natural state, that we need to question it more. So I'm constantly trying to get people to do less and let the body work. There's always a time and place for everything. But guys, if you need help, hashimotosconsult.com, set up a consultation. I'll do everything I can to help you out. I hope this has been helpful. Please share it if you found value in this. And I'll talk to you guys again really soon. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thanks for joining me. Bye.